I hate to be called a hoarder, but in this case, I was probably hoarding something that had no useful purpose for it until all of a sudden it did. What we're doing is on the back side, that's our utility control building where all the solar stuff and the batteries are. And it's also, we're storing our generators in there right now. So what I'm doing is we're going to pour a slab back here that'll be enclosed with a roof on it and a couple of doors that we can open and kind of pull the generators up. They'll still be under a roof, but they'll be completely isolated from that building. And so whenever we want to power everything by way of a generator, if we need to do that, it'll be right here, but yet connected into that one. And what I'm doing is, this is just going to be a slab, but the trouble is, if you've ever poured a slab on just the bare ground, you know that pretty soon you start getting some erosion underneath it, and then there's a big gap underneath it. So really all I wanted to do is dig down a few inches where the edge of the slab will be, so that will be actually framed up below the grade of the ground. That way when we backfill against it, it will be much less likely to erode out from underneath it if water comes running down by here or anything like that. So that's all I did. Could have dug them by hand, but you know what? No, we're not going to dig it by hand. I don't dig by hand unless I absolutely have to. Here's the inside of the forms, and I've got the outside of the floor formed up. This is the outside forms, and I'm going to want to have something on the inside so I'm not pouring just a mountain of cement in here. That will come into about there. And I've got some 1/4-inch cement board that I picked up from an old construction site, and I think I'm going to try going ahead and putting a spacer in there like that, and then taking some of that cement board and put in just up against here. And then as I start filling the forms on the inside there, I'll backfill it with rock over here on this side, and then when I start filling up the inside, I can pull these out, and the pressure of the cement holding out against this way and the pressure of the rocks coming in from this way hopefully will keep those cement boards in place to create an interior form, and they'll just become part of the floor that's in here. They'll be buried underneath the cement. So this is something a little new I'm going to try. Hopefully it works. Here's the cement board, and I really don't want to wear out a saw blade cutting this stuff, so I think I'm just going to try to break it. It doesn't have to be precise, but I'm after about a piece that's about 8 inches. So that's the idea. I don't want it to come up, I don't want it to come as high as this form. It'll be down here. So from here to the top of the form will be cement, which will be about 4 inches. So this will be about a 4-inch slab with this little bit of foundation around it. And I'll just pull these out when I start filling that with cement. and we'll backfill back in on this side. Hopefully that will hold all this together until I can start pouring the cement in there. So to talk about this cement board for a minute, it's just 1/4 inch and it is got paint splattered on it. We were offered to be given this stuff by someone, and there was only like about 4 pieces or maybe 5 pieces of it. None of them were that big, and I couldn't think for the life of me what I would ever use it for, but we went ahead and took it anyway. And we've had it now down here for about 6 months, and I still hadn't come until just this morning. I had not thought of a good use for this stuff. It was just piling up in the way. And when I was trying to figure out how to do the insides of these forms, it sort of dawned on me that might be a good purpose for that. So, you know, I hate to be called a hoarder, but in this case, I was probably hoarding something that had no useful purpose for it until all of a sudden it did. So anyway, we're using this as the inside forms for our generator storage building. There's what that's like. I've got the forms that go down below the grade of the ground. Those 2x4s that are down in there right now, those are loose, so that when the cement starts going down in there and there's enough pressure from the cement to hold back the form, I'll just go ahead and pull those 2x4s out. This goes all the way across. The only thing that I still have yet to do is I'm going to do right now, and that is to grab a straight edge and lay across here. And what I'm shooting for is about 3.5 to 4 inches worth of slab thickness here. And you know, I got more than that here, so I'll probably throw a little bit more. I'll probably throw a little bit more rock in here to bring that up just a little closer to the edge, but it won't take much. And we're going to tamp this down, settle it down a little bit. Hopefully maybe we'll get a rainstorm on top of it before we actually put the cement down. Our two generators, when they're side by side, they actually, the farthest they reach out is 30 inches. So 30 inches is right there. And I'm going to make the building actually 38 inches. So it'll be 8 inches longer than what the actual generators are, which will give me some room for the front wall and still be able to put the generators back inside. The entire length of the cement pad will go all the way out to 6 feet. So there will be enough room out there to set the generator on, and it'll be covered by a roof out there too. And so I can pull the generator, one of the generators, out and leave it outside of the building if I want to do that, and it'll be covered. But I want the inside of the cement slab to be a little bit higher than the outside part of it. So what I've done is I've cut some 1x2 2s, which actually are 3/4 of an inch high. So the floor on the inside of the storage will be at about 3/4 of an inch higher than the floor outside. That way it'll just be easier to keep rain out of it. There'll be a little bit of a drop down, a little bit of a lip there, so that rain can't blow up inside the building. So anyway, I'm just going to attach those down, and that will make up the top of the form for the backside enclosed part of the shelter. If you've enjoyed this video, give it a like and a share, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button down below and the notification bell. See you next time.